anybody watching. This is the Disgusting Beauty. Consider this my painting between paintings. I wanted to get into work on this, but I'm not in the right frame of mind to be doing it right now. So I'm going to put this one off. I'm choosing between either coloring it or continuing to define the form a bit more. I think it needs to be worked on a little bit more. So right now I want to do a painting that I'm going to just do that's easy, simple, and it's going to be with acrylics. And I'm going to be using them like watercolors. So on a canvas or any like primed surface for painting, you don't want to put too much water in your acrylic paint because it's going to underbind the paint and it's going to flake off. But in this case, I have watercolor paper that I taped to the back of my palette because I had nothing else to put this on. I wanted to keep it taped down. And I'm going to be doing a still life of an apple that I took on my phone. And I'm going to just do this one quick. This is just going to be a painting to get the lead out. And this all being shot. I have my jar of brushes. Anyway, what the genius of this is, and this is shout out to Clyde Five Art. Not that he needs one. He's been doing paintings recently where he uses cardboard or watercolor paper and uses acrylic paint. So what I can do is add as much water as I want. I got a dirty jar here and a clean jar here. This is where I'm going to be dipping to get water. Right now it doesn't really matter because it's all, we got some hair in there. Get it out. Right now it doesn't really matter though where I get the water from. I'm going to get a little bit of every single color here. So red, yellow, touch of blue. Yeah, now it's too blue. Don't worry though, I'm going to yellow it up. Or I might just keep it the same color. It's going to be a thin wash. And if you've been watching Clyde Five Art on YouTube, he's been doing these kind of paintings.
Alright, I'm just going to be killing the white of my paper by putting on a ground.
Okay, I came back, and now it's spraying back. It's no longer puffy. It's spraying back into shape. It's completely dry. I'm going to move on. And it's good that I did all this color because especially from this line underneath is basically close to this color. Up here, my image is blown out, too overexposed. So there I'm going to use my imagination, probably the sky, maybe. Ooh, I see some like tree-like thing, but it's mostly blown out. I think I'm going to paint these lines in. I'm going to start by painting my darkest color first. So I'm going to get red, yellow. I'm not going to really be able to mix black. I've tried to get close, but these colors aren't really the best for that. And that's pretty dark. I might add just a touch of Mars black to it, so it has the black in, but it will be like a good one. Okay, I put some water in. So now I get my phone out.
Okay, this is the tightest part of my painting. I've been painting in the windowsill, and the reason why it's the tightest is because I'm trying to keep a straight line.
This really is going to depend on how firm you press. I'm going to drag across here because I know here is my thickest point. Even though this line looks a little jaggedy right now, it's alright. It's going to be a little bit loose because this is supposed to be a pain for me to get my lead out.
Alright, I start with my darkest color, and then the lighter colors are the areas where light is touching, because most of this, my photo is in shadow, minus the window where most of the light is coming from. So I'm just going in, I'm trying to keep a straight line, and how I'm doing that is using the edge of a flat brush tilted on its side. And I go over another way to do this by putting your body adjacent to your easel and then sliding your hand across. Your painting, you can get a straight line that way. Anyway, this painting was, I did this to get the lead out. I was going to paint the color layer for my frog, but I wasn't sure whether to proceed with color, whether to keep going with black and white. I end up proceeding with color, but I did this painting and another painting that I did to freshen myself up before I add color to the frogs. And my next painting, I'm going to also be doing a similar thing where I paint on watercolor paper. And the reason I'm doing this, I watched a video on Clive 5 Art. He's a art YouTube channel, and he gave me the idea to paint on watercolor paper, because then you can use as much water as you want and create a bunch of washes of color on your paper. And with the next painting, I'm going to be doing it also on watercolor paper as well, and it's going to be an interesting painting. It's going to be a character redesign of a sketch that I did, and I want to make merchandise out of it. I want to make skateboards and t-shirts, so that's the idea I went with. Anyway, I'm putting in the sky right now, starting with my darkest value at the top and my lightest value towards the bottom. And this is also very loose and free. I'm just putting in color down in my background. And I probably spent way too much time on this video. It's 25 minutes long. This is the third time recording audio. The first time it failed, and the second time, I wasn't even recording along with the video. I just got pissed and decided to check my audio, and I had a little bit of a rant, but I didn't include it. So now I'm painting in the apple, and I'm using white paint to get the shape. I'm painting over the windowsill. I wanted to get the windowsill first because it's a straight line. I'd rather have the straight line go all the way across the paper before I touch it with my actual foreground object, or else the lines will look broken up and not like they belong. And partway through this, I do make this apple bigger because I saw a picture. I took a picture of it and put it side by side with the actual picture, and the apple wasn't large enough. The photograph, the apple looked larger. Also, this is 100% mine. I am not using a reference. I am using a reference photo from a phone, but I'm not using a reference photo that I picked off of the internet. It's a apple that I got from my house that I put on the windowsill and took a photograph of. So this is 100% mine. Original work. And now I'm just putting color in on the apple. Starting with like a reddish brown tone. And I'm going to put in like oranges and yellows and greenish yellows into my highlights. Yeah, this was just to get loose and get a break from my last tutorial that I made. And anyway, I'm going to stop talking here because I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing.
Alright, so that's the next day. I was hoping to finish this in one day, but paper started warping since I put water on it. And as long as I let it dry and snap back, it's snapped back now. It's nice and tight. But yeah, it was becoming a problem. I think I've got the big picture mostly where I need to. I just need to do all the little small work. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this video.
Now I'm working on the bottom of the windowsill that the apple is sitting on. I'm putting in the apple's shadow. There's kind of a double shadow happening. There's like a really dark shadow and then there's like a diffuse shadow. I don't know how that happened, but I saw it on my camera and it's like a double shadow. I'm also putting the shadow under the windowsill. This will make it look like an object that exists in the world. Always add your shadows. But yeah, this is as easy or as hard as you want it. Right now I'm putting in the wood grain texture in the darker areas of the windowsill. Now they're in shadow. You can't really see it on the video, but in person you can see it. And now I'm just glazing color over it. That's going to unify it all together. And also when I'm putting in the highlight on the wood, I'm bringing in some of my sky color onto the windowsill and onto the shelf and onto the shine on the apple. I use bluish white. So I'm carrying over the same color that I used in my background over onto the rest of my image, which gives it cohesiveness.
I can use some abstractions. This is from a window, so a lot of these are just like things. I'm just making visual texture and noise. I might actually use a mod brush and blend it up. Barely touching this. I'm just adding visual noise. Actually, I should probably add some like trunks and stuff, like underpainting. Really, I'm just building up visual texture. This is like really just abstraction. I don't care where I'm going. This is art to me. This is art. This is what's going to make this from just me copying a photograph to art. Don't overblend, just a couple little whooshes. I do see some little sparklies of yellow in my photo. More yellowy ones. Nothing more. Yes, that's a little bit more realistic. Although I like kind of that vibrant green back there. It's adding some just visual noise and resonance. This might actually not be my best painting. But this is just really just I'm trying to loosen up a bit. The tightest I got was actually just on these lines. And here I'm being a little loose. Don't overblend, that's good. I'm just creating visual noise. I'm probably gonna add some weight to this. Probably gonna need to put more white down. Oh yeah, perfect, but I'm gonna need more yellow. A lot more yellow. I'm gonna be making like an orange. And so obviously it's gonna be dirty, so I'm going into this mix. I'm gonna get some blue to my mix. And these are also gonna be obscured just like the other ones, but I'm gonna just do them out. We're gonna be like Bob Ross here. Go ahead, let's go there. Need more paint. Let's see. I want to go from the top here. Doesn't matter if this goes all the way down to the bottom. A lot of this is obscured. You can do that. They come of varying sizes too. The bigger they are, the closer they are. The smaller they are, the further away they are. I have water in my brush for this a little bit. There we go. To make it move a bit quicker, so it's and do varying degrees of pressure. Some of it crossed over the threshold. Don't worry, I'm just gonna cut that animation. Maybe some of these are farther away. This is now I'm not even really following my photograph, but it's okay because this is bringing interest. Maybe we'll put a big one. Use the broad side. I can take artistic liberties here because this is all blown out white in the photograph, and I'm gonna obscure most of these. I'm just putting them here. And that's probably too many. That's fine. Because I'm gonna do the same thing again. The greens. I'm gonna pull from the side. We're gonna even obscure these because this is all out of the window. We don't know what's back here. And I'm just putting in texture.
So yeah, I'm not defining these trees too much. Most of this is just lines and smatterings of green. I'm just creating visual noise. You can't really see what's happening out of my window anyway because it's dirty. And also the photograph is overexposed, so it's like just all you really see in the photograph is just bright white and gray. And I probably should let this dry, at least up there, because if I try to do any more washes, it's going to make this greener, and I don't want to do that. I want the green is supposed to really be an afterthought, and this green is taken over. But at the same time, I like it. I really do. I like how it's, I don't know, it's stimulating. We got oranges, we got blues, we got greens, we got reds. So we got a balance of everything happening. And eventually I'm going to obscure these. So like I said, it's just visual information. I'm not defining these trees because you can't see out the window, and even in the photograph you can't. And Also, it was a gray day. It looks a little sunny in the photograph. So I'm going to change the weather, and you're going to see that. I will apologize in advance. Me changing the weather in this painting, the footage got lost.
Okay, I'm going to keep putting in the sky. I have layers of greens, and I have lines for the little tree trunks. And what I was doing was creating the indication that stuff is happening, stuff is behind this. Because I can't really paint a window, so what I have to do, I start with the sky. It's too vibrant, too blue, and I made it look like a blue, sunshiny day. So what I did was I scared over with white. And that's what I'm doing. Actually, it's not even white. It's actually blue, a muted blue. I added orange to the blue line. Put red, yellow, orange, and then I'm adding white. So it's actually gray. It's a very gray blue. And already by doing this, I've changed the feel of the weather. Even though the weather in my photo actually is a gray day. Not that I'm intending to make it look like a gray day. This is really just because it's a window and the exposure's wrong. Well, not wrong, but because the light is more extreme coming from out of the window than inside my dark house. Yeah, it appears to be blown out, but I could see that there was stuff happening even in the photograph, even though it was blown out. I couldn't make out most of it anyway. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just putting it in, and I'm obscuring it. And actually, it's kind of changed the weather. Unintentionally, of course. I wasn't intending for it to look like it changed the weather of the scene. It didn't. I just wanted visual noise happening under there's any water. Actually, around the apple is the brightest, so I can probably get a little more opaque the closer I get to this apple over here, and less opaque the further away I get. And that will also bring attention to the apple. And notice how that actually just took the attention away from here and onto here. So that's what I did right there. Just by putting a very bright color next to that, it's taking the attention away from the background. My background's just a background, it's just there.
I meant to say that I'm changing the brightness, not opaqueness, but yeah, white paint is opaque. I want it to be brighter, closer to the apple, because the focal point is the apple. Now what I'm doing, I think I'm adding the highlight on the wood, on the windowsill and the little shelf that's sitting on. I'm putting in that the color that I used in the sky, and I do apologize that you missed out on me changing the weather of this painting, and I did that by washing white paint over it. Here's also where I think I decided, no, okay, I'm just adding in the highlights. I am going to change the size of this apple because this apple was a little bit too small, so you'll see it eventually. Anyway, yeah, I apologize for missing out on the changing the weather in my scene, and that's why I picked watercolor paper, was because I could use as much water, because you can't glaze with white, but in this painting you can glaze with white because you're just staining the paper, and I thinned the white down with a ton of water to get that wash. And I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you could see the visual noise I created with those trees happening. Now I'm just increasing the value in the highlight areas of my apple. I created the reflection of the light from the window touching on to the windowsill and the shelf that my apple is sitting on. I'm also adding in some bounce light in the shadow of the apple.
That's better, yeah. That definitely needs to be darker. Probably too dark, but I think once I glaze it, it will unify it. And that will add way more depth. I still haven't, take note. I have not added the shine. I haven't even really added the shine in here. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I need to. But I haven't added the shine on the apple. That's the last thing you do. You do not put the shine in too early. Get your work done first, then get your shine in.
Yeah, like I said, what I mean by putting the shine last is using white paint. Now, you wouldn't use just pure titanium white. You would mix a little bit of color in it, but what I mean is your brightest white highlight. Now, you don't want to use pure titanium white because it will look fake, but you might want to put like a speck of some color into that paint, whether it be blue or yellow or red. It doesn't really matter. You can even add all three, but as long as it's not just titanium white out of the tube in your brightest highlight, then you did what you should do. I don't know what I was saying there. And I'm just playing around with the values. I'm layering on top of layering on top of layering, and you can do that with acrylic paint. It's one thing that I like about acrylic paint above oil paint is that even if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You can just paint over it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking here because I'm going to talk again. Oh, yep, here's where I make it larger. I used a brush and my thumb to figure out the proportions between my painting and the photograph. I figured out it didn't quite match up. Okay, I'm going to talk in just a minute here.
That's actually perfect. That worked out good. That's actually a good way to get a straight line. Instead of being straightforward, because then your arm, it's like kind of turning unnaturally. When I'm on here, I'm just like dragging across. It's really easy, actually. That actually helped a lot.
So yeah, I moved my body parallel, or you could say adjacent to the easel, and I was able to get a straight line. That helped me loosen up my line work a lot more than using like a mauled stick. Or I sometimes will put my right hand under my left arm and use that to like hold my hand steady to make a straight line. It's really hard to make a straight line when you're painting because you can't use a ruler. It's not like a pencil. You can't use a ruler. Now I'm just glazing color on my windowsill again. I had to restart with the values on the apple because I changed the size. But it's all the same values and paint mixes, so it wasn't too difficult. Like I said, I could have finished probably earlier. It already looked good, but I pride my work in this is as easy or as hard as you make it, and the more time you put into a painting, the better your painting's going to be. If you don't put the time in, you're not going to get good. You know, you got to put in like 5,000 hours before you get good at anything. So yeah, just practice. Even if it doesn't look good, just keep going. What I call that is the ugly stage. You just got to get past the ugly stage of a painting. And sometimes it just takes some time. But, you know, you're never going to improve if you don't make the mistakes and then take the time to correct them. Now I'm just finishing up this apple here. Got the shine in. Well, not the shine, but the highlight in now. I'm probably going to be popping in the shine pretty soon. Anyway, I'm glad you followed along. If you did, thank you for watching this video. Engage with me on my social medias or in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it.
Well, that's about it. Anyway, that's how we do it. I can keep pushing it as far as I want to go, but honestly, I'm happy with it. Your work is only as strong as the time you are willing to put into the work that you are doing. It's beginner work, and if you want to get better at painting, you gotta go outside your comfort zone. You gotta pick an image that's like, you think to yourself, fuck, I can't do that. That's too hard. There's no way I can achieve that. If you do that, your work will be better. And actually, Lisa has a great video about this. She's Lisa from Lockery Fine Art. Not that she needs a shout out. She doesn't. She's a very successful art channel. But she's used the comparison like you just use Bob Ross tutorials. Bob Ross is here and you're here, and you're never gonna be better than Bob Ross. But if you do something that's outside of your comfort zone, outside of your skill level, here's your Bob Ross painting, here's you. Now the person that you copied might be, here and you're here, but you're still above Bob Ross. Because you had to make those mistakes to get better. Because you can't get better at this without making mistakes. You have to make the wrong decisions in order to make the right decisions. I probably put more time in this than I should have. Because it's a beginner tutorial, I should have put less time in, but I pride my work, so I kept going. And I know I can push it even further even now, but I feel like I'm at a point where I'm happy with this. So I'm the Disgusting Beauty. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my social medias, whatever I put down. All right, I'm out. I almost forgot. You want to see a tape reveal? Here we go.
Along with keeping your painting attached to the board, doing this will also make your work look really professional. It creates a natural border. I did have to paint some of the lines back in because some of the paint got under the tape, but it's a very professional look. I recommend it. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, because if you don't, how is this channel going to grow? How am I going to eventually be able to make some money through this channel? So, yeah, I'm the Disgusting Beauty, and we're out.